Hello, welcome back. It's medicinal, and we got 4 boxes today. So we've got Jules over there, Harvey down there, and that's Gwynny in the corner. Gwynny is WelshScot65 on Twitter. She's a GB Doc stalwart. She takes part in the quizzes, the tweet chats, and sometimes does quite well at fantasy football, but we're not going to talk about that this week. We're going to talk about diabetes and complications and many other things. But first of all, how are you, Jules? How are you, Harvey? And how are you, Gwynny?
I'm good, thank you. I've got a little bit of a cold, so I might just sound a bit bugged up and I might sniff occasionally. But yeah, I'm good apart from that, thank you.
I'm good. I don't have any complaints. I'm still struggling through work, but it's all good. It's all good. And I do have new hair. Well, it's newer hair. It's all been cut off, so I look a little bit more like a human being now, which is great. Yeah, I'm all good.
Welcome, Gwynny. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right, but I'm all right, Dad. I'm getting there slowly, surely. Coping with various phases of shielding and isolation and God knows what else. Yeah.
Oh, of course, because you're shielding at the moment, aren't you? But have you just come out of lockdown in Wales?
Yeah, we finished a fire break last week. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so far the signs are I hate to say the word positive, but it's you know, but they're encouraging. That's a better word.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's good to look on a positive side to things, I suppose. Hopefully things will get better as time goes on. So this is new, and what we're going to do in these conversation things is have a quick fire question section. And as Jules likes to talk, and she's the fastest talker here, look at that face. She's going to do the questions, and Gwynny's the guest, so Gwynny gets to answer the questions. It's going to take about a minute. So
Yeah.
what you like, ladies, or where you go?
And they're really easy questions. Okay, are you ready, Gwynny?
Yes.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Tea or coffee?
Both.
Oh. Salt, vinegar or cheese and onion?
Salt and vinegar.
Football or rugby?
Oh.
Only one.
That's another both. That's another
Really?
both. I can't.
Strictly Come Dancing or I'm a Celebrity?
Oh, I'm a Celebrity.
Are you injections or pump?
Pump.
Finger pricks, Libra or CGM?
CGM.
Consultant or GP for your diabetes?
Consultant.
Carbs or low carb?
Carbs.
And finally, how many years have you had diabetes?
I will have had diabetes 45 years in December.
Woo!
Wow, well done. Excellent. I think that was about a minute. Well done.
Is that about a minute? So we know a bit about you, Gwynny. That you're indecisive.
No, just like both sports.
I knew you'd have trouble with the football or rugby one.
I like sport in general. Watching it, you understand, not taking part in any way, shape or form.
Yeah, I gathered that. But I think we're all like that, aren't we? I only ever watch. Yeah.
Harvey nods along with liking sport, but he hates it.
I participate in no sports, and I would have picked rugby because of the legs, and that would have been it.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
it.
So-
I thought you might have picked rugby for the odd-shaped balls
True.
that
true.
they throw.
Spherical balls are okay as well. See,
Yeah. It's a
We've
tough
only been
one.
on for 5 minutes and you're talking about balls. This is a family show.
Jules, lower the conversation. Talking about conversation,
Yes.
Gwynny, you're
Yes.
here for conversation today.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
I know that you've had complications from your diabetes.
One or two,
One or two.
yes.
You did share with me on Twitter something that happened when you dropped a fridge on your foot or something
Yes.
that seemed to set off a bit of a series of incidents. Do you want to,
Yes.
if you want to share, then feel free to tell your story.
Oh, my story. Quite a long story. It's hard to say when to start it. Right. Okay. Let's start at the very beginning. It started in, I'd say, December. Let me think, what year are we now? December 2008 it started. It all started. Annual foot check. Yes, and I would wholly recommend them. They discovered that I had a lack of sensation in my right foot. Fine, okay. They referred me to the vascular surgeon to see what he could possibly do for me. All things being equal, yet on the statins then, and they did an angiogram down my leg to see where the problem was. I had calcification in the blood vessels in my ankle and my right foot. So knew at that point that if anything happened, there would be no way to do a bypass in the blood vessels because the vessels were too small.
Okay.
I'm quite a small built person, so yes, I have that issue, yes. In the August of 2009, in work, in a meeting, somebody ran a chair over one of my toes. They tore on black, basically, and went gangrenous and lovely. And yes, I've got glorious photographs to show. And I lost that toe in the September of 2009. What they did was they packed it with something and stitched it up. Hence, it didn't really heal. And when I went back to the surgeon in the early November, basically the foot was dying on its legs, and he said, no, there's no way we can save this. So I had to have an amputation on the right leg. 9th of November 2011. I love all these dates. They're ingrained in my brain. And that was great. Thought, fine, okay. In that process, I had to try and solve the issue to keep the circulation going, a sympathectomy in my back to kill the sympathetic nerve down my right leg. That's painful. And all sorts, trying to keep everything going. Great, nothing really worked. So I knew at that point that there was always a chance, because I had the issue with my right leg, that it may happen with the left leg. Great, not necessarily, but it happens. I've got small blood vessels. The chances are that yes, it might. So in the July 2011, opened the fridge door and ran it over one of my toes of my left foot. Right, okay, I went straight up to A&E. Great, fine, no problem. They gave me some antibiotics, sorted it all out. In the meantime, my poor podiatrist was on speed call for all of this time. Any problems I had, I went straight to them. But because this happened at a weekend, didn't really have an option, you know, A&E it was, because I thought, right, I got to see somebody, make sure everything's okay. Fine, okay. About a week later, that toe went black. Yeah, okay. It was fine. Chiropodist or podiatrist rather wasn't really concerned. We're quite happy to let it stay as it was. It wasn't wet, it wasn't gangrenous, it was a purely what they call a dry gangrene. And yeah, sorry for the technicalities, but they're happy if it's dry to leave it and just basically let it fall off. Yes, which isn't much fun. Yes, but
So this, Gwynny, I do apologise for jumping in. At this stage, are you feeling a lot of pain at this stage, or are you feeling comfortable enough to just to get by?
According to people who saw me both before the amputations and after the amputations, it would appear that yes, I was in quite a bit of pain. Well, put it this way, I was taking liquid morphine.
Oh, okay.
Several times a day. So yeah, and with, yeah, the second one, yeah, I was on Oromorph, I was on ibuprofen, I was on the tramadol, I was, you name it, I was basically taking it. Yeah. So yes, and I was on, I'm trying to think what long acting one I was on for the second one, I can't remember. Oxycodone.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, I think in all fairness, I was in a fair bit of pain.
a bit of pain, yes.
Yeah. But I wasn't aware that that was the situation. My pain threshold is quite high when you consider, you know, that. But yeah, in the end, the foot swelled up, went what they call ischemic, so it was red and swollen and nasty. So I lost that toe, and everything seemed to be going well. It seemed to be healing. It seemed to be getting better. And then the 18th of December, just out of the blue, the toe next to that one went black. And I hid it for a day. I didn't want to say, here we go. Yeah, I had to get my head around the fact that, yeah, here we go. This is going to be another one. So I hid it from my then partner for a day before saying my other toe's gone black. So it was straight then into A&E. Doctors didn't want to amputate. They wanted to offer me what they call a partial foot amputation. And I told them to forget it, that I'd rather go for a lower leg amputation, because I didn't want to have a partial foot amputation in the December for it not to heal and then to end up going back at some point in the new year to have the lower leg amputation.
Okay.
One operation, get it done, get it sorted. The quicker I do it, the quicker I get on with it. And so that was, yes, my choice at that point in time to say, no, just get shot of the silly leg. Yeah. So that was done.
That was in the December. At what stage did they perform the amputation? How long after that?
The next day.
The following day?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So how long were you in hospital for when that happened?
On that occasion, I was in hospital for a month.
Okay.
Yes, I didn't quite recover from the second amputation as quickly as I did from the first. It's first one I was up and walking with a prosthetic within 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, which is quite astonishing.
Mm.
Yeah, the second one, it didn't, the scar itself didn't heal for 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, that one took a little bit longer to sort itself out, and yeah, these things happen. You know, who's to know? Each, you know, everybody's amputation is different. Even, you know, even on my own experience, 2 amputations 2 years apart, both were completely different.
Mm.
You know, who's to know? They're very much a personal journey.
Mm.
Yeah. So that was a little while ago, and just based upon what I see with you on Twitter and on social media, you seem quite a positive person. You seem quite upbeat about life, and you know, we have a little banter now and again between ourselves, don't we? Just close this window. We have a little banter between ourselves now and again. So you seem quite a positive person. You talk about your legs as your pins, and you've got new pins.
Yes, my metal legs. Yes, my metal legs. Yes.
Yeah.
To try and differentiate between what are my what they call residual limbs, which are my legs, and my metal legs, which are pins, basically, because they are a metal pole with a plastic foot on the bottom of them.
Yeah.
You know, they're a piece of kit, and it would surprise you how heavy your leg is.
Really?
Yeah, these are supposed to weigh the same as your natural leg, and they weigh about 3 kilograms.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're quite a heavy substantial piece of
Quite
kit.
a weight, isn't it? So did it take you long to
Did it take
adjust
you
to
a long
having...
time to get used to walking on it?
Yeah, I was about to ask the
We
same
just
question.
asked the same question at the same time, haven't we?
I'll stop asking questions. I'm doing too many. You two join.
Sorry, Gwynnie, did it take you long to get used to walking on the prosthetics?
The first one I was fine. When you're bilateral, it's not just simply a case of well, you've got to relearn your balance.
Yeah.
When you've got both legs. You also use an awful lot more energy with 2 prosthetics. You use 300% more energy doing anything with prosthetics rather than your normal legs. It's quite a substantial drain on your energy. But you know, it's yeah. But yes, you know, I got to the stage where I was toddling around and doing quite well, and yes, yeah, managing to go from, you know, from the car into the flat and everything like that, and yeah.
Do you use a wheelchair?
Yes, I do at the moment, and at the moment I'd say I'm 95% of the time in the wheelchair at the moment. Unfortunately, some of the more recent events have resulted in a depletion of my energy levels, my strength levels. Yeah, which has resulted in me using the chair 95% of the time. But hey ho, it's a way of moving and getting around quickly, and I really don't give a monkey's the fact that yes, I'm having to use a wheelchair. It's yeah.
I can understand that because I'm a part-time wheelchair user, and I find that and my I've got a mobility scooter as well, and that those 2 things, when I first was introduced to them, I was like, no, no, because then I'm disabled and then I can't do things, and then it's really obvious, and it's a step closer towards disability and not being able to do what I want to do. And then I realized that actually they're just tools to help me do things for longer. Like I remember taking Dom to Drayton Manor, and I just collapsed halfway through the day, and they had to like get somebody to bring a car in, you know, into the actual park to get me out. But then I went with my wheelchair, and I was able to last the entire day, and I saw everything that Dominic did. Dominic went on every ride and I watched him do it all. I lasted the whole day, and that was kind of a bit of a turning point for me, because then I realized that it was a tool to be able to enable me to last longer in a day. So you can actually do more when you use these things, can't you?
Yeah, this is it. I mean, I wouldn't be able to walk around the supermarket, you know, but with a chair, you know.
Yeah.
Harvey, have you got anything you want to chime in with before this one ends? I think we've got about 5 minutes, and then
yeah, we've got a few minutes. We've just got a few minutes left, haven't we? To be fair, all I was going to say was, even without like it being like a complication and stuff like that, I think it can be really difficult for you to not look at stuff like that as the disability side of it, rather than using it as a tool. But I think that you, like, especially you, Gunny, like, you are like an exemplary person on Twitter to follow for something like that, because you actually show really well that it doesn't really matter what it is that's going on in your life with difficulties like that, because you just do anything else that you want, like you're doing your studying and things like that at the minute. And that might bore me crazy, but you are still doing that. It's not stopped you doing anything that it is that you wanted to do, which I think is really great. So yeah, it's a really nice thing to see, because I never see you being negative about anything about your life, which
that's
is really,
one of the
really
things
nice.
I was going to say. I find Gwynny such a positive person.
I do have my low moments, don't get me wrong. Yeah, and it's usually this time of year, because all my, what do you call it, anniversaries come one after the other at this point in time. You know, one the beginning of November, one early December, and then one the end of December. And yeah, I can, but I think if, you know, I'm 9 years down this road, and yeah, they're not quite having just the same impact as they did have initially.
Right, that's good. That's good to.
you feel you've come to like an acceptance of where you are now, but you still, as you said, you still have your moments, which I think is understandable.
Yeah,